All right, let me get my camera set here, get all ready to go. Let's see. All right, I think we're good. I think we're solid. 11 o'clock. Gonna give a couple minutes for some people to jump on here. Happy Friday. Hope you're doing fantastic. Again, weather is nuts here in Des Moines. I think it's supposed to be up to 66 degrees today, when usually be about 20 or 30 degrees. So give me a good day. Time for maybe a beer after work or something. All right. Today we're gonna go deep into marketing, and really the reason I'm doing this is because most real estate investors don't do any marketing. I'm trying to get comfortable. Most real estate investors don't do any marketing. So for us to build a sustainable and long-lasting business, we have to be able to constantly have those leads in order to convert into deals. And this is the reason, this is the exact reason that I see in this market that we're in right now, what's super hot, is why a lot of investors, rehabbers, wholesalers, landlords, they go out of business. They go out of business because they don't have constant leads coming in that they can convert into more deals, right? And if we don't have leads coming in, we go out of business. We don't have it. We don't have a sustainable business. So, the camera's just about to pop out here. Let's get this guy up. Okay. Let's see here. 11:03. We're gonna try to give just a couple minutes. As you guys are jumping on, feel free, if you would, comment on how many deals you've done to this point. If you've done hundreds, you don't know, just put 100 or 200 or whatever. But my phone holder just is not holding this guy today. Not sure what the deal is. If it pops out, it's gone. It's like spring loaded. All right. I think it's gonna hold. So there we go. Okay. So so let's talk about marketing. All right. So I got my notes here. I got a handful of notes to share with you. This is going to be an extremely valuable training, something I could probably charge for if I really wanted to, because we're going to go actually pretty deep into it. It doesn't really benefit me; it certainly benefits you. We're going to go pretty deep into the marketing segment and why you should be marketing. So, with nothing further, let's jump in. Let's get started. It's a few minutes after 11. I don't want to hold those up that have stuff to do. So, what is marketing? So, for the longest time, I actually didn't even understand what marketing really was. I mean, I guess I kind of understood the premise of it, but what is marketing? Marketing is simply getting in front of your subject customers in order for you to be seen and heard, and in order to attract a sale. All right. So the more people that you can be in front of, the better your chances of additional sales. Right. So without the ability to do marketing in real estate, it's all self-generated. And if we're not in the right kind of market for self-generated types of deals, then we're really going to struggle. So in this type of market, when it's super hot, there is not much opportunity for self-generated types of deals. That's going to be your MLS, your Craigslist, your for sale by owners, your joint ventures, buying from wholesalers, stuff like that. There's not a ton of opportunity there. So that means the majority of the opportunity is going to come from marketing. And if we're not marketing, then we're going to have a lot of struggle trying to get those deals to come in, trying to convert those leads. All right, so marketing is simply getting in front of your customers in one way in order to try to convert a sale. So there's a couple different kinds of marketing. One, there's branding. All right, so branding is something like Coca-Cola and Pepsi, the huge companies that have these billion-dollar budgets. That's the kind of marketing they do. They have their advertising companies. They have people that they pay to launch their branding message out to the world. They're certainly not trying to get in front of one person, they're trying to get in front of everyone. So they have these unbelievable budgets to do so. For us, for the small business owner, it's completely different. So our type of marketing is simply direct to consumer. All right. So we call that direct response marketing. So that is, we're launching out our marketing in expectation to get an immediate response back and be able to make a return on our marketing dollars. So if I'm sending out marketing and I hit a customer, they call me off the postcard, they call me back, we talk, we negotiate, we do the deal. That's a direct response. It's a direct response of me sending that postcard and they're calling me back. So that's why, to a certain degree, it gives us the ability as small business owners to grow so much faster because we're able to compound our dollars that much quicker, as long as our marketing is converting. So direct response for the small business owner is where it's at. We don't have the ability to do branding type of marketing. We can try to brand ourselves in a market, but it's not likely going to go over very well because we don't have the marketing dollars to really make it effective. You're talking tens of thousands of dollars that has to go into a branding type of message for just one market, if not maybe more than tens of thousands. It takes a lot of money to do that. Whereas direct response, it could be anywhere from 500 up to 5,000, and we're going to get a direct response from that and likely make a profit. So that's the big difference in the marketing, the two different types of marketing plans between big businesses and small businesses. All right. So as a small business, I'm looking at my notes here, as a small business, we have to become experts at direct response so that we can create customers and sales on demand. All right. So like I said earlier, as a small business, if we don't have leads, if we go into a leads deficit disorder, and we don't have, let's say, the cash flow built up to be able to keep us in business, we go out of business. All right? If we're not converting deals, there's no way to stay in business. So becoming a master of direct response will allow you to always create basically money on demand. Because if you know how to market, you can send out your market, convert that lead, make a profit, turn around, do it all over again. Okay? Pretty simple. All right. So this means if we're running around, for example, the current inventory, market numbers, staying consistent. Okay, so here's a good example. Right now, in the current market we're in, if a person is trying to pull deals from no marketing, they are going to be running around all over the place trying to find deals, and who knows which kind of avenue. All right, like I said, MLS, for sell by owners, Craigslist, networking, they all work, but they're not going to be in enough abundance right now. And right now, the numbers have changed drastically. So from a year or two ago, we used to be able to go up and get deals off the MLS or for sell by owners almost any time. Whereas right now, it's almost non-existent unless you're going to overpay. So without having a strategic marketing plan in place and knowing your numbers, you either have one or two options. Either one, don't do any more deals, or two, overpay in order to get your deal. And we don't want to do either of those. So it makes more sense to have strategic marketing in place to where you can always count on those numbers, because likely the marketing numbers haven't changed from year to year nearly as much, maybe a smidgen, but they're not really going to change, because once you build those basic marketing numbers and you know what it costs to convert a lead, you know what it costs per lead and from marketing costs, all those numbers will stay the same, pretty close, and they're not going to change much. So when you get to the point where you start to know those numbers, that's a point where you can start to scale your business, because you know how it's going to convert, and you know that because it's converting, you can simply pour more money into it and it keeps growing. All right, pretty simple. But on the flip side, if you're going to try other avenues of acquisition, I mean, you can go out and make more offers on the MLS, but if the prices are too high, what do? You can make $1 million, but if the prices are too high, you're not going to get it accepted. All right? So, let's see. Once we have measurable data that we can rely on, we can then put processes in place to start scaling, as we know we will always be making a return on each dollar spent. I think I just kind of covered that. So then, when this happens, once you get to the point of knowing your marketing dollars and knowing your return and how many leads you're going to get, all that stuff, once you know your numbers, your metrics, then it simply becomes a game of how much can I spend versus how much do I have to spend. All right, most people are looking at it, the small-time investors that are trying to wholesale and flip houses, they're looking at it from a perspective of, man, how much do I have to spend in order to get a deal? I have to try to cough up this $1,000 or $1,500 or whatever, and they're anxious about spending that money because they aren't sure if they're going to get it back. But once we do it enough times and we can start to measure it and we know, then it takes that fear out of spending the money on marketing and puts us in a state of assurance to where, man, I want to spend the money on marketing because I know that if I'm going to get a 2-to-1 return or 5-to-1 return or whatever it ends up at, then it doesn't cause us fear anymore. Instead, we want to, right? I mean, if we can make 100% return on every dollar we spend on marketing, we're not going to be worried about spending money on marketing. We're going to say, man, I want to find more money so that I can spend more on marketing, right? So, where to start at? Where do we start at in marketing in order to get the ball rolling? Well, first I would say determine a monthly budget that you feel comfortable spending. So that could be $500, $1,000, maybe it's $200 or $100 or whatever that is for you, whatever that is. From there, you got to figure out what type of marketing can fit into that budget, and then be extremely consistent with it. So depending on where you're starting at, you might only be able to do like bandit signs, and maybe you can go. I mean, I saw this just recently on the side of the road. Somebody had these like handmade bandit signs. You could tell they weren't bought from a sign company. I mean, they literally bought white pieces of corrugated plastic, wrote on them, and had a wooden stake. So they made the whole thing. Creativity, I like it. But anyway, so their marketing budget was probably extremely low. But even still, if they do that enough times, they are going to get a deal. And I know that off of experience. It might take them going out every week for 2 months, and it might take putting out 50 signs. So it's going to take a lot of hustle. But when that deal comes in and it turns into a $10,000 or $15,000 profit, it's going to feel like it was worthwhile. But then once we get that profit to come in, we're going to take 20% and we're going to reinvest it back into marketing. All right, but we're going to keep that marketing avenue that we had in place. If we had the bandit signs going, we're going to keep that in place. We're going to keep doing it, but then we're going to take that 20% of that profit and we're going to invest it back into an additional type of marketing avenue. So that might be probate listings or probate mailers. All right, so now we have bandit signs and we have probate. Well, when that probate hits and you get a deal off of that, you're not spending extra because your marketing dollars came from your profit, so you're not paying out of pocket anymore. But now you get another profit from that, and you're likely to get another profit from your bandit sign. Pretty soon you're going to have a couple deals coming in. Your profit might jump up to $15,000, $20,000 a month. You're going to keep both of those going, and you're going to add, reinvest your marketing dollars. You're going to add in another avenue. So by doing this, pretty soon, within a matter of months, you're going to have multiple streams of marketing going on in your market that are going to start converting. And that's how you build it up from basically no business at all to generating some pretty significant leads in a pretty short amount of time. The hardest time is going to be that first month or two just to get the phone ringing. But once the phone starts ringing, you will convert deals. It's just going to be a matter of time. And once you convert, you have to be disciplined in order to put that money back into your marketing instead of going off and spending it. All right. And once that starts to compound, that's when business will start to grow. And it will basically get to the point to where the more you can spend on marketing, the more you're going to make. All right. Really simple philosophy. So I heard this one guy say, he said the fastest way to get to a $100,000 per month income is to get to where you can send 100,000 postcards a month. Now, you probably don't have to send 100,000 postcards in order to make 100,000. It's probably more like 20,000 postcards because of the way they convert. But still, it's a good philosophy to be able to go by. So the point is, when we can get to the place where we can outspend everybody else on marketing, then we win. All right, we're at the top of the game. Because if I can spend 20,000 a month on marketing because it's converting, and somebody else is trying to spend 1,000, I'm definitely gonna get more leads than they are. I'm gonna get more leads. I'm gonna convert more, and I'm gonna do more deals and make more profit. So the goal is to get to where you can spend more on marketing than your competitors. All right. Let's see. So that's about it. We didn't have a very good turnout today, so I know there's not going to be much questions, but as you guys are watching this, you can feel free to send me some questions that I will happily answer, and I'll just continue to answer them in the feed as I see them come in. Hey, Alan, how's it going, buddy? Alan, did you end up making it to California? I saw a couple pictures on Facebook. Looked like you made it there. So if you did, that's great. So anyway, this was all about marketing. I hope that you took some really good golden nuggets from this, because I wish I would have had somebody in the beginning teach me about marketing. I didn't really get to start learning marketing until really about the last year or so, and it started making a pretty significant difference. So if you're starting out, make marketing a priority in your business now, and instead of trying to wait until you have money, because there's never going to be the right time. It's like trying to wait till it's the right time to have kids. It's never the right time. So waiting until you actually have money and generate a profit to try to start marketing is the wrong way to go about it. Instead, use your hustle as basically your currency. Go out and create a couple profits and then reinvest those profits back into marketing. All right, I'm not sure. I don't see a clock on here of how long we've been on, but I think it's pretty close to about 20 minutes. So I'm going to jump off. You guys feel free to share this and like it, and I will continue doing these every single Friday, and just to add more value to you guys and help you guys get better. All right, see you soon.